See tonight, no one is letting those terror fears stop them from being here tonight. Dana?
That is for sure. Thank you, Hazel, for that. As we look at the tree and the symbol of the season for many people. Back here now with Michael McCann, the former chief of security at the United Nations. And let's talk more about what Hazel said and that you as well have said. Commissioner Bratton saying there was no credible threat at all to the city event tonight, but still, we always must be aware and alert.
You're 100% correct. Notwithstanding the fact that there's no direct credible threat, the police are not letting down their guard. They have multiple layers of security. Their intelligence division is actively looking at everything that comes in. They're identifying, looking at the sources of the information. They're also evaluating any of the information to see how credible the information itself is. There's multiple layers. There's perimeter security. There's the interior security. They have police that are mixed in the crowd, looking for things that are different and things that they're trained to identify. They have heavy weapons people that are there to respond if there is an incident, to take somebody down quickly and to engage the threat and neutralize the threat right away. So there's so much being done to make this a very safe evening.
As we had on Thanksgiving Day, and we will have tonight. Let's be very positive. Right. And also then we have New Year's Eve coming up. Right. And just the way they do all the barricades and grids, so very, very important. And I think people, too, are mindful and respectful. Right. They want to be safe and let the police do their jobs. Let's go back to San Bernardino, if we could. Again, the tragedy there, up to three, we've been told, gunmen on the loose. Talk about that when you have a wide area, and we've had 14 fatalities at least. 14 people wounded. We're looking at pictures here of employees who were released. They were evacuated from the building. Even that, Michael, how do you know the bad guy isn't among the good people?
Yeah. Well, and that's something that the police, the challenge they're faced with. But as the police are working on this, they're going to look to identify the people. They're going to look to identify the motivation. What was their motivation? Why did they pick this particular location? What was the target? Why were they there? Why did they want to hurt these people? And what was in mind? And then from there, when they identify the people, and then they can start to isolate them, look at any of their associates, where they may live, where they would be going, what their patterns are, and then to ultimately to capture them.
Of course, roadblocks, because again, on the loose, a description of a black SUV. And by the way, we should also say that the the police chief there of San Bernardino, Jared Bergwan, talking about having hourly press conferences. So as soon as we get any new information, we'll update our viewers. But my goodness, roadways, there are so many ways to get away. People in their homes, you know, they've been told schools closed, city, court, all that sort of thing. How do you do that? Grid or... I mean, multiple layers. We know the FBI is involved and ATF.
Well, they're going to work out from the scene and to work out there in grids and to search the grids and to estimate how far people could get away, whether it's by vehicle, by foot, or by other means of transportation, and to see how far that web goes. And then once they start to identify the people, then they'll have a better idea of where they're going with the investigation.
When I think about you being former chief of security at the United Nations, again, one of the world's most iconic structures, and we've seen that over the years, the stone barricades and much more added. Did you always feel you had it?
Yes, well,
I mean,
just overly confident on the outside, but inside very, very concerned and worried about the things and the potential and things that could happen. But it was a tremendous job, so something that everyone should experience once in their lifetime.
Social media today and the use of it during what's going on and the giving of information, the posting of information, that too needs a special talent from law enforcement, to, not only to find suspects who may be, you know, recruiting others, but to who might be getting some secret messages. How is that investigated?
Well, the thing is, it's to rely on people that are experts, and the young people are using it. They understand it. They know what the capability is, and to have them part of the team, that they're looking at this and evaluating the information and knowing the potential of what the threats are and how to deal with them. So that's something that any good law enforcement agency like the NYPD, they're bringing these people on board that have this capability.
Do you feel that the police there then, I mean, the response by the federal government, I mean, does that now just happen just within so quickly? I mean, how the layer of responsibility of police, the federal government, the county governments, when there's a tragedy like this, that nothing slips through any crack?
You know, I think the tragedy like this just reinforces the message that's been out there over the last 15, 20 years, that it's not a federal problem, it's not a state problem, it's not a local problem, that all these police agencies are working very closely together, and they have task forces that deal with particular issues. For example, terrorism, they have all the local people and the federal people working together, that they're identifying the threats and they're sharing the information and doing what's best for all of us.
Let's stay with us, please, Mr. McCann. And let's now go to this. No, we do not have Danielle Nottingham. We had a reporter at the scene. One of the things interesting in listening to the San Bernardino police chief when he was talking about the